everybody, I am Tristan here with Muse Paint Bar to teach you how to paint this lovely fireworks painting. Whether it's the 4th of July or New Year's Eve, this is the perfect painting to celebrate the day. Now you can feel free to follow along or customize it however you like. All the supplies that you need are linked in the description below. Sit back and relax and let's paint some fireworks. All right, it's time to paint our lovely fireworks city scene. I'm going to go over my materials very quickly, all the colors that I have. I have some mixing plates, some paper towels, I have a water can for my brushes, and the colors that I'm using today are basically all the colors in our warehouse. We have some green, yellow, red, fluorescent violet, light blue, dark blue, black, and white. Now you don't have to have all these colors. You can totally do just like red, white, and blue fireworks if you're doing, say, something for 4th of July, or maybe you only want like some red and yellow fireworks. It's really up to you what colors you have here. But mainly for this painting, for the background and all that good stuff, you're really gonna want black, white, blue, and yellow. Then all the other colors are up to you for when you do your fireworks. So first thing that we are going to do is mix up our background colors. 2 of them we already have. There's black, there's a dark blue, and there's this color right here. This kind of medium blue shade we are going to be mixing up. I'm going to use a nice big square flat brush, and I'm going to grab a nice scoop of white, and then a nice scoop of my dark blue, and mix those up. We are going to be drawing our horizon line. That is basically where the water or land stops and the sky begins. For this painting, I would say about 1/3 up your canvas from the bottom, you're going to draw a line across. And don't forget to bring your paint onto the sides as you get to them. Now, the space that I have here, I would like to do 1/3 of this space with this medium blue. So I'm going to paint this in, working from side to side. That really helps me to get this paint on nice and smoothly. Painting my edges. Painting the edges really do make it look very professional. That way when you hang it up on your wall, it looks great from all sides. Getting a clean brush, drying it off. I'm going to get into some straight dark blue paint and putting one line of this above my lighter blue, and then slowly bringing my brush into the light blue, working back and forth. Working back up and back down, but always working from side to side to get them blended together. So look, now we have this nice, beautiful gradient from one color to the next. Once you have your dark blue blended into your light blue, we're going to get a clean brush and fill the rest of our sky up with black paint, and make sure to blend that black into your darker blue. All right, a nice beautiful sky. Next up, we are going to add some black and dark blue paint to our water. Starting with black paint, I'm going to start right underneath my horizon line here. Feel free to use the edge of that brush to really get up close and make that line nice and sleek. It's okay if they do blend a little bit. We are going to be adding our city right on top with black paint anyway, so you won't really see that blend here later. So about half of my water in black. Then getting a clean brush and using some straight dark blue paint for the bottom half. And then make sure you blend into that black. In this painting, we can see that it's a splatter paint on it at the end, but I think it definitely would look really nice if we did the splatter paint before we did any of our cityscape, so it doesn't look like we have stars sitting on top of our city. So, splatter paint. We are going to be using a large pointy brush, grabbing a little bit of white paint, and we want to water it down a whole bunch to where it's like a milk-like consistency. Very, very runny, like so. So runny that if you like tilt your plate a whole bunch, it definitely will run. So all you need to do is take that brush, tap a couple bit off on your paper towel or your paper plate before you go to your canvas so there are no big splotches. And you're just going to tap your brush forward to splatter the paint. From there, we're going to take a dry break. We want our painting to be super dry before we put any of the city or the colors on top. That way it doesn't turn out really muddy. So bring your canvas over to a blow dryer if you have one, or just step away for a nice good 10 to 15 minutes. All right, it's time to get into our cityscape now that our paintings are nice and dry. For me, my city is definitely somewhere in New York or Pennsylvania, somewhere with that nice fun bridge. You're more than welcome to do whatever cityscape that you want, and you don't even have to do a cityscape. If that's the case, then you can move right into your fireworks and all the colors in your water. I'm just going to use some black paint and a nice square brush to make sure all of my buildings are nice straight cut. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint this in, and you guys can paint yours in while I am doing mine. Alrighty, now we have in our cityscape. It is beautiful, but it does need to dry. While I let it dry, I'm going to be mixing up all the colors for my fireworks. I'm going to be mixing up a hot pink, I'm going to be mixing up a minty green, I'm going to be mixing up a light yellow, a kind of purpley lavender color, and also a nice sunsetty yellow/orange. Feel free to follow along and mix up the same colors, or you can mix up whatever colors you wish. For my hot pink, it's going to be a little bit of white and a big scoop of red. For my minty green, it's going to be a scoop of white and a little tiny scoop of my green. This is called a phthalo green, which makes it very minty. If yours was more of a grassy green, you're probably going to want to add a little bit of blue into yours to get it to a minty color. I'm going to mix up a light yellow with a scoop of white and a touch of yellow. A more sunset yellow with a scoop of yellow, touch of white, touch of red. And then I have my sort of lavender shade as a scoop of white, scoop of my fluorescent violet, tiny touch of blue. I also have a couple of different colors in my water. I do have this nice blue over here. I'm going to be adding just a tiny touch of white and a big scoop of my lighter blue. And then I also have this more just straight magenta color. So this color as is. I am going to be doing all of these lines in my water. Not the fireworks just yet, because I still have to add a couple things to my buildings and let that dry. So I'm going to use a nice flat square brush so that when I use the blade of the brush or just the tip edge, I can get really thin lines. So starting over here on my left side, I got some hot pink lines. These ones are going to go all the way down to the bottom. I also have some hot pink lines over here on the right side, not on the edge, but a little bit to the left of the edge. These ones do not go down to the bottom, just down to the bottom of the black. Next, I'm going to be adding some minty green. It's actually a little bit darker here in my water, so I'm going to add a touch more of green into this minty color and put that right next to this hot pink. Same exact way, back and forth, back and forth. Just shy of the bottom. And it comes over to the left a little bit. Clean brush. Next color is my light yellow. This is going to be the shortest color in my water here. Next, I'm going to use a little bit of my lavender at the top here, kind of in the middle. Stop about there, and then go into my straight fluorescent violet to fill down to this green part right here. Next, I have my sunset yellow. I'm going to add a touch more red into mine as it looks pretty orangey down here in my water. And the last color in my water is going to be that blue that we mixed up over here on the right edge. Now you can feel free to add little bits of white or maybe a darker version of the colors we put down in these lines to get some different shades. All right, looking good, looking good. Next up, we're gonna be adding all of the little windows in our cityscape. I'm gonna be using a tiny little pointy brush, mixing up some yellow and white paint in case yours has dried up a little bit, and just dabbing these tiny little dots in our buildings, wherever you like, who's awake at midnight or whatever time the fireworks are going off, those are whose lights are gonna be on. All right, very lovely. Next, we're going to talk about fireworks. Yay! This is the whole reason we're doing this painting. We're going to learn how to paint fireworks. I'm going to start with this nice purpley firework that's right in the middle as practice. And I'm going to use a nice tiny pointy brush. Grabbing some of this lavender color. I want you to pinpoint where the center of your firework is going to be. So for me, it's going to be right there. From there, we're going to be drawing these curved lines that go up and down. And you flick your brush at the end of the firework to make it look like it's tapering off. You can even add a couple little firework droplets kind of right below, because sometimes the fireworks sparkle a little bit. And while that paint is still wet, with a clean brush, grab some white and add a couple white streaks, starting from the center outwards. And it's okay if it blends a little bit, that's kind of what we want. So a couple of our fireworks are done like this. A few others are a little bit more pulled apart. So I taught you this kind of firework. Now I'm going to teach you this big type of firework. I'm going to be using my minty green. Instead of pinpointing where you want the center to be, because the center is open, You just want to kind of eyeball it, and from that point, you're going to do a couple little lines bursting out and away, kind of like sun rays. From there, you're going to kind of go in between, do those same type of lines and make them bigger and longer as you work your way out and away from that center point. Our last type of firework is this yellow one that is down here at the bottom. This one is sprouting up and out, kind of like a fountain. So I'm going to use my pale yellow. And wherever you want your firework to be, you just want your lines to go up and out. Gonna add a little bit of white paint in there. And then you're gonna wanna add these bulbs kind of at the top to give a thicker line. So you wanna push hard and then flick down. Push hard, then flick down. Push, flick. Push, flick. All right, I have taught you 3 different ways to do your fireworks. Now get at them. I'm gonna add 2 of my hot pink, 1 that is nice and kind of like a sunset yellow, and then another minty green one over here. Now the last and final step are going to be the bigger stars that are at the top of your sky. For this, we're not even going to use the brush, we're going to use the handle of our brush, dip it in our white paint, and poke your sky wherever you want your stars to be. But that is the last and final step, guys. So when you're done with your painting, don't forget to sign your name, and you have finished a wonderful firework masterpiece. Well, baby, you're a firework. Come on and show them what you're worth. Thank you, Katy Perry. Well, that's our tutorial for painting our lovely firework city scene. We hope you enjoyed this tutorial and would love to see how your paintings turned out. Feel free to post them online and tag us at Nice Paint Bar, or you can drop them down in the comments below. Don't forget to also hit that subscribe and like button if you want to see more from our channel, and we'll see you again next time.